Welcome back to Reality Bytes Radio. Chat in right now. Facebook, it's Josh Haston, Hasten. We have a very, very special guest, highly anticipated guest on the line right now, Mr. Mostafa Geha. He's a political activist, journalist, founder and general coordinator of the Lebanese sovereignty movement. He openly opposed the Syrian and Iranian and Hezbollah, quote, meddling in Lebanon's affairs. They tried to kill him, okay? They tried to take his life. And he is now seeking political asylum in Sweden. He is a very, very brave man. Mustafa, hope you can hear me. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here, and I can hear you.
Mustafa, yes, we're good. You can hear me, yes?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we are live chatters. Please confirm that you can hear me. We have We have chatters from all over the world who are anticipating. I have a friend here who says that she was going to the gym and heard that you were going to be on the show and decided to stay home and listen to the interview. So just know you have fans out there here in the land of Israel. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You were born in Lebanon, political activist, and from the pictures I see here, and it's very, very scary, I see this is your car with bullet holes in it?
Yeah, that's right. It's my car. First, Josh, I want to start my conversation with you by shalom.
Shalom, thank you. That's great.
And marhaba, and the Lebanese language. Yeah. Yes, I'm Lebanese, and I was born in 1984. And you can see the bullets entered by my car. In 14/4, I had a political meeting to discuss about the Syrian situation and to discuss about Hezbollah. And while driving home from that meeting, a black car blocked my way, and the gunman fired 4 shots on my car, and 3 bullets entered the front of the car, but thanks God, failed to hit me. Now I'm seeking political asylum in Sweden.
Right.
And we had in our family, we had a very bad situation in Lebanon, because Hezbollah in 1992 assassinated my father. My father was a Lebanese thinker and a writer. He had 25 books, and at the same time, the Lebanese government are controlled by Hezbollah and the Syrian regime and the Iranian regime, and the Lebanese government don't give us the permission to republish my father's book. Especially the book was titled Crisis of Mind in Islam. And in 1992, Hezbollah assassinated my dad, and the government put the file of this assassination on the floor.
So just to be clear, your father was murdered by Hezbollah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And then they tried to come out, and they came after you as well.
Yeah,
they tried to kill you. And they're upset because of your views, because you... Tell me your philosophies on life. Why did Hezbollah try to kill you, and why did they murder your father, which I'm very sorry to hear?
Yeah, we are very liberal, and we are also talking about peace in Middle East. And at the same time, we had some ideas against the fanatics groups, Islamic groups, in Lebanon, in Iran, and the others like Al-Qaeda and Hamas. So, these fanatics groups cannot leave you talking about these things. In Lebanon now, you have, if you are against Hezbollah and against the Syrian and the Iranian regime, you have 2 choices. The first choice is you will be killed by these terrorist groups, or the other choice is they will create a file and put you in the jail. And several assassinations or assassination attempts against outspoken Lebanese public figures criticizing Syria's interventions in Lebanon have been recorded in the past years. Journalists and politicals. So, at the same time, in this year, I reopened the file of my father's assassination.
Right.
And I have the names of Sheikh in Hezbollah who give the order to assassinate my father.
Because of his political views, because he was against the extremists.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
By the way, sorry to interrupt, but you have chatters from all over the world, even in places like Columbus, Ohio, who are saying you are a brave and courageous man. You have somebody in Tel Aviv saying you sound great. Just want to let you know there are people listening live now around the world. Sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
Dear Josh.
Yes.
All what we know, what we want now, we must work for peace, and we must have a ideas war against these terrorist groups. Now I'm trying to translate our books to many languages and republish it. And at the same time, really, I'm very interesting to start a good project to have peace with Israel, between Lebanon and Israel.
So you're looking for a real peace, not based on the Islamic extremism of groups like Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda, the Iranian movement, etc.
For sure, we must have peace. We must build a good relations with Israel. And I hope and I believe that those intellectuals who can be truthful with themselves and with the facts can begin to turn the tide and call the people to no longer see Israel as a monster. You know, the fundamentalists from Iran to Hamas to Hezbollah to Al-Qaeda to Hamas and other crazy groups, as well as dictators in countries like Syria and Iran, have implanted very dark ideas in the minds of the people.
Right.
They use and they play by the Palestinians and some Islamic ideas itself to create hostility toward Israel. And here we can start a real good relation to have a good peace and a real peace in the future.
By the way, you have a chatter right now saying that if Sweden doesn't work out, maybe Israel should give you asylum. That's what a chatter. Would you be willing to come and live in Israel?
For sure.
That's great.
It's why my pleasure to visit Israel as soon as possible, and we have from the past. We had very good relations between Tyre city in Lebanon, the south of Lebanon,
right,
and the United Kingdom of Israel, especially between King Hiram and the King David. And the temple, the first temple in Jerusalem, was built by the Lebanese cedar wood and the gold of Lebanon.
Correct.
Yeah. And I'm sure we have a lot of ideas between Lebanon and Israel.
But the problem is right now, as we see in the Middle East, whether you're talking about Iran, Syria, or Egypt, it seems like the forces of evil are taking over. Everywhere we look, the so-called Arab Spring, which people initially or naively thought would bring about democracy in these countries. We're now learning the truth. We have the Muslim Brotherhood taking over in Egypt. We have the Syrian regime massacring its own people on a daily basis. Iran is working to develop nuclear weapons. I mean, I'm pessimistic by nature. How can we thwart these efforts? How can we, those of us on the side of a true peace, of a real peace here in the Middle East, and it's not just the Middle East, it's the entire world, as we know, because as Israel goes, so goes the rest of the world. What can we do to make a difference, to make a change, despite what looks like unsurmountable obstacles?
Yeah. For sure, we can do a lot of things. As first step, I think if we have good relations between Lebanese and Israeli intellectuals, we can create a new ideas, a new intellectually ideas, and from this point we can make a push in some political groups, some liberal political groups, some cultural groups in Middle East, and I am sure the Lebanese people and a lot of other groups in Syria, Iran, oppositions groups, and Iraq want and need have peace with Israel. These people don't want to have more wars. These dictatorial regimes and these terrorist groups are making a brainwashing for a long years. But now, when these people can hear a new voice, they will support us, I'm sure.
Now, what about the U.S.? President Obama, do you consider him a friend, a foe, indifferent? Does he know what he's doing? The most powerful man in the world. Okay, it would seem to me, sitting here in Beth El, just north of Jerusalem, that he is not a friend, that he is not on the side of those that truly seek peace. If so, I believe he would have supported, let's say, the Iranian revolutionaries, people who would want to overthrow that evil regime in Iran. And same goes for Syria, which it does not look like he's doing that. What is your take on President Obama, especially now in an election year leading up to November, where he may win re-election in 4 more years?
Yeah, you have right. You have right. Barack Obama, now the president of U.S., sorry for saying this, but he is not a good friend for our peoples, especially for Israel people, and now we can see how he is not supporting the Syrian revolution or the Iranian revolution. But I think the next election in USA, if Mitt Romney will come a new president for U.S., we will see another face and a good face, and I think he will be a good friend for us.
So you're more optimistic with Romney as president then, for sure.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, I mean, I don't know. Right now, the latest polls I believe I saw, and I'm actually going to a U.S. election meeting after the show to find out more. But the latest polls I saw was that they were neck and neck. Romney and Obama were, it's a close race from what I understand. Is that the information you're getting as well?
No, but I have only a last point, like a letter to all Israeli people and to all intellectuals in our region. Josh, we have really a scientific and commercial and cultural excellent potential.
Right.
And if we use our potentials together, we will arrive to have an amazing region. And please, Israeli people, Israeli intellectuals, Lebanese people, Lebanese intellectuals, please listen to this letter, and we must work for this.
By the way, you just got invited to Shabbat dinner here in Israel. You should know. Somebody out there wants to have you over for dinner here in Tel Aviv. You should know that. That's first of all. But let me ask you this. Would you consider yourself a Zionist per se, or are you simply a Muslim Arab who recognizes, the difference between those death cults of Hezbollah and Hamas and the others and Israel, which is a democracy? I mean, would you go as far as calling yourself a Zionist, or you're from a practical perspective, do you just know that Israel, because of its democracy, because of its values, is, on the side of good in this battle here in the Middle East? What would you say?
I'm not a good believer in Islam. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very liberal,
Right.
and I have a lot of ideas against some points in Islam, and especially I know Islam came to the world to replace Judaism and Christianity, not to live side by side, and it's a big fault. You cannot destroy any people in the world. We must have a good life together, side by side.
So you're saying Islam was actually created for the sole purpose of destroying Judeo-Christian values and Judaism and Christianity, in your belief?
If we have a good look to the past and the present of the Islamic ideas, we will see how these ideas are destroying the other civilizations.
Wow. Reality Bytes Radio here. This is Josh Haston. We are broadcasting live from Bethel. My guest is Mostafa Geha, who was living in Lebanon and somehow angered Hezbollah, and they tried to kill him. They actually murdered his father. He's now seeking political asylum in Sweden. Are you allowed to reveal where exactly you are now? I definitely do not want to put your life at risk. And I know you're seeking political asylum in Sweden, but can you tell us where you are calling from? I know it's somewhere in Europe, or is that something we cannot talk about on the air? No pressure at all.
Yeah.
I don't want to put you in any danger, God forbid.
Yeah, I'm in Sweden, but
You're in Sweden,
I
okay.
cannot say
Right.
where especially in Sweden.
Okay, that's fine. No, I definitely do not want to reveal that, to give any. And by the way, I know for a fact I've had on other Muslims on the show from other countries, and they do translate these shows. By the way, I've learned some of these shows into Arabic, so so this stuff gets around. I mean, the internet's a powerful place, and I definitely don't want to tip off any of these evil people from Hezbollah as to where you are. But let me ask you this. How can people follow, we're getting short on time, how can people follow the work that you're doing, the translations, your father's work, which hopefully will be translated into English, and how can people get in touch with you in order to give you support, in order to strengthen you, in order to help you with your goal in seeking a true and genuine peace between Israel and your country of Lebanon? How can people reach you?
Yeah, especially I'm using the internet solutions for connections, like Facebook and my email, and at the same time I'm now preparing the books by translated to republish it, and when I republish this book, for sure I will give you a new.
Hello. Hi, you're there? No, sorry, I missed that. You're in you're still in the process, you're saying, of translating the books?
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. Okay, fine. No, I got scared there. So say that again. You said you're in the process now of the actual translations of the books?
Yeah. I'm working on translation now.
And how can people reach you to support, whether it's your translation efforts, to read about your published work, to find out what you represent, what you're all about, and find out more about the Lebanese sovereignty movement? How can people get in touch with you? What's the best way?
I think they can catch me by Facebook. It's very easy if they put my name and I don't know other solution.
So it's Mostafa, Mostafa.
No, M-O on Facebook.
Yes.
M-O-U.
M-O-U-S.
S-T-A-F-A. M-O-U-S-T-F-A-G-E-H-A.
And that's pronounced
Mostafa Geha.
Geha with a G, G-E-H-A. I highly recommend to all the listeners out there, and again, we have listeners from all over the world, from places like California all the way to the Philippines and all points in between. Show your support for Mostafa. Get in touch with him on Facebook. Learn about the unfortunate circumstances of his life. His father was murdered by Hezbollah, but he is standing up for what's good in the world. He seeks a genuine peace between Israel and the Arab world. And all I can say, sir, is be safe. That's most important. And I hope everything works out and you are granted political asylum in Sweden. And one day, I'm assuming you would like to return home to Lebanon one day during times of genuine peace. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And I want to thank you very much, Josh, for this interview, and thanks for all listeners. And really, I hope as soon as possible I can come back to my home in Lebanon, and I hope we can visit our friends in Israel, and our Israeli friends can visit us in Lebanon.
One day, God willing. Thank you so much. And most importantly, again, be safe, and I'll definitely be in touch with you and keep up with all of your good work on social media and on Facebook. So have a wonderful day, and I really, really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Joe. Shalom.
All the best. Shalom, shalom. This is Reality Bytes Radio. We are headed towards break. After the break, news and much, much more. We have so much to cover. Another hour of Reality Bytes Radio. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. Wow, what an amazing, amazing person, Mostafa Geha. Wow, that's all I can say. Anyway, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the news. Reality Bytes Radio. Josh Hasted here, Israel, nationalradio.com. First of all, we had David Ivry, the Shomron Liaison Office Director, and then we just had an amazing interview with Mostafa Geha, a Lebanese freedom fighter. I'll call him a freedom fighter. He had to flee for his life. They tried to kill him. Hezbollah did. They did murder his father, and now he is trying to finish his father's work, translating all the things that he said into different languages so people can understand the realities of Islam in their view. And this is not me talking as a Jew. This is a Muslim saying that, and he said the following. He said that Islam was created to destroy Christianity and Judaism. That's him talking, not me. That's a Muslim talking. And I love having Muslims on. I love having Arabs on my show, especially for those who see me in the street and say, oh, you're that right-winger from Reality Bytes Radio, right-winger. Right-winger my foot. I would have Arabs and Muslims on the show all day long if we're up to me. That's totally fine, totally acceptable by me, as long as they are legitimate voices who speak the truth, and that's what we're all about here, Reality Bytes Radio, seeking the truth. And Mostafa tells it like it is. Hezbollah is evil. Iran is evil. The President of the United States does not accept the fact that these regimes, Syria, Iran, etc., are evil regimes. They have to go. One day, Mostafa, from me to you, God willing, we will be neighbors once again. You'll be able to return home to Lebanon. And hopefully, in this world, we will have peace between Lebanon and Israel in the near future. Anyway,